Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters, I keep freaking telling you, is right here. I am Mike Aletta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my partner Brian, the Ranger of Tard, bringing you another solid special. You can just pop up on a platter and just serve up there to all your friends and neighbors. And just keep on smiling.
You're looking calm today.
For now.
Yeah.
We'll see when I throw the rant light across the room. We'll be fine. Today we're going to talk a little bit clean up on the NFL news and notes, and there has been some great happenings, Brian. Today should be a fun day with some news and notes, so I'll let you kick it off. Go ahead. Let's talk about the NFL.
A lot of felons.
Yeah.
A lot of problems going on.
Back to good old homeschool NFL. Yeah.
So we'll start with my Dallas Cowboys. So Randy Gregory was a second-round pick in last year's draft. It's now his second time, supposedly, that he's going to be caught with a substance he should not be caught with. He was already being suspended 4 games. He's now going to be suspended probably longer. Who knows how long? It just keeps going on and on with these kids in the NFL. I mean, we talked about it before. They can't seem to, frankly, keep their nose clean. Look into that whichever way you want to. Again, I still think he's a very talented player. I think if they give him the Des Bryant treatment, he could be okay. I'm still okay with them picking him where they picked him because he was a guy who was supposed to go in the first round that fell to them late in the second. But for a team that needs pass rush, man, that's a punch to the gut.
You just keep on sugarcoating it, don't you?
It's just...
That's a beautiful thing. You can tell the Cowboys fans sits next to me. That's fun. And some great notes, all you Eagles fans out there. Nigel Bradham was arrested in South Beach for punching a Cabana boy. Now, if I remember right, Cabana boys in South Beach are teenagers?
Probably.
So
that's probably a safe bet.
That's smart, guys. You know, like we always say, and it's never going to change, NFL players with young kids getting a lot of money like this, stuff like this happens. You just don't understand it. And I understand you have some news about Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, so Le'Veon Bell's been all around Twitter saying that he's not going to miss any time. There won't be a suspension. He might have been doing that by the time he was treated.
Yep.
You're right.
Yep. Where's LeGarrette Blount here?
He's only going to roll with his true fans. I mean... Again, you hear that, hey, you don't take your drug test. Okay, so that's assumed that you're failing, so you're going to face some time. In a league where Roger Goodell successfully going to suspend Tom Brady for 4 games, I don't think you're going to be absolved.
Horse's ass. Oh, sorry. Was that?
And in the same token, Josh Gordon, receiver for the Browns. So he's been reinstated after missing something like 43 out of 58 games in his career.
Yeah. If you look at his stats, though, and I think it was 35 games that they had. He just 14 touchdowns. He's got good yards, and he's played for terrible Browns teams.
Killer player.
He's only 25 years old.
He's killer player, a talented kid, just can't again.
Guess what, Philadelphia, if I were you, I'd take a flyer on him. He's going to be dirt cheap. You still got to trade for him, but give a late-round pick. You might get some mileage out of him.
He did play 2 years with RG3 at Baylor, so hopefully they can rekindle that for the people in Cleveland.
Yep.
But, man, how many times... I really think if he has one more issue, he's probably done.
He's a sneeze away from out of the league. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
And then how about the Detroit Lions, a little signing today?
Detroit Lions signed Anquan Boldin today. And news was that Anquan Boldin was going to sign with the Eagles, but he heard that Bradford was going to be the starter, and he bailed out. That's kidding. I'm just kidding about that, folks. But no,
he might not be, though.
Yeah, he might not. Yeah, it might not be. Anquan Boldin did sign a 1-year deal with the Detroit Lions today. The Ravens updated a little line depth with signing Jake Long today. Talk about Jake Long. Here's a good, solid offensive lineman who's been traveled already.
High pick.
He's on 6 different teams already.
Real high pick.
It just tells me there's something wrong with the locker room on him. And the other note I have is the Redskins are talking to Greg Hardy. They haven't signed him yet, but there's a guy who a little bit of a nut job. Well, more than a little bit of a nut job.
Dictionary definition.
Exactly. Solid player, but just doesn't know. Just a nut job. So if the Redskins sign him, he's another added weapon for their defense. I think it's already going to be good.
Kind of bookending this conversation here, if the Cowboys aren't doing anything to do with you, I should probably tell you something as to the problems you have right there.
Packers did come out today and say that Jordy Nelson, they will not talk about his status right now, which is a little concerning, but you know what? If I know Jordy Nelson, he's rehabbing, he's going to get back there, just being a little bit cautious.
Well, it is only July. We talk about every year. The preseason is such a farce anymore. You don't really need your best players out there getting hurt anyway. I think they're going to be very, very cautious with Jordy Nelson as long as he's there week 1. I don't really think they care too much.
And Eagles coach Doug Peterson today said Wentz is definitely, I don't want to say sidelined, but he will be on the 3rd-string bench for the start of the season. Whether that stays there or not, I don't know. And I really can't say they're making a mistake because a lot of these top quarterbacks, you really got to really put the plastic wrap on him and just take care of him. But I mean, he's going to learn off of Chase Daniel. I don't know if that's the answer either, or Bradford, who's on a 1-year deal. But
I think it goes back to the conversation we had last week in regards to Eagles fans having the right expectations for the season. I mean, I don't think anybody really thinks this team's going to contend this year, so there really is no need to be putting Wentz out there to have him get killed by other teams. You know, Bradford's what he is. I mean, off the top of your head, where do you think a guy like Bradford ranks in the league? From a starting quarterback position.
I think he's got to be under 20.
I think it's a safe bet.
It's probably 20 and down. I know the Eagles wide receiver core I saw in a ranking this week was ranked 28th in the league. And that's about right. Yeah. I mean, I honestly can say that's about right. I think, honestly, the time, and I was thinking about this, the Eagles could lose 3 in a row because they have the Packers at home. Well, actually, before that they have, and I can't remember who they have off the top of my head, the Packers at home, then they go to Cincinnati, and then they come home against the Redskins.
The Seattle game in there, too.
It is Seattle. Thank you for the Seattle game. They're going to Seattle, they come home for the Packers, and then they go to Cincinnati. After they lose 3 in a row, and that's part of the schedule, they come home to the Redskins. I think that's the perfect opportunity to get Wentz in there and start him off, because in the first 4 games, if they struggle, the Eagles, they're definitely going to put Chase Daniel in. Okay, then after those 3 stretches where they lose, it's going to pull the plug on Daniel because you want to get your guy in and see what he can do. And I think the Redskins at home, perfect opportunity to put Wentz in there and get him in, get some work.
I mean, look at a week 1 win with Cleveland. I would think. I would think.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I just have the right expectations. You know, interesting, just to kind of book in with Josh Gordon. He's going to come back the same game as Tom Brady. That's going to be a...
Yeah.
For a change, the NFL spotlight will be squarely in Cleveland.
And you know what? It's funny to say. I'm really looking forward to Garoppolo getting in. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a downside not to see Brady in there, but I want to see what Garoppolo can do. Here's a guy who's been on the bench for about 3-4 years now, and you know, high pick, Colorado State guy. You know, they drafted him high to get him in there. You know, let's see what he can do for the future, because I don't know how long Brady could play. 1 or 2 more years, I'm thinking max, but. Yeah. We will see. This will be definitely an interesting season. We will update you as we go. Any more bigger news, we will come back at you for that. So.
And New England has a history of this. You know, they took Ryan Mallett in the 3rd round a couple of years ago when he had fallen in the draft, and it was like, oh, it's the Brady heir apparent. Yet not so much. But again, they do a nice job of making sure that there's somebody behind Tom. And that's a team, even when the NFL takes their picks away, they draft extraordinarily well.
My last note, folks, keep an eye on the Giants. They look like they are going to be decent this year. I'm not saying Super Bowl bound, but they could contend for the NFC East, believe it or not. Their defense looks pretty solid.
It's a bad division.
It is a bad division.
And we should know. It's a bad division.
It's a bad division, but we can get into that in another show. That's all the time we have for Sports Box. Keep an eye out. We got some great stuff coming. And remember, we got the NFL special coming in a couple weeks that we're going to have every team. That's right, every team we're going to have a person here or by Skype talking about their team, so keep an eye out for that.
And if you want to volunteer, if there are any fans of some obscure teams out there, you want to comment, say, hey guys, I want to be on your show.
We need Jacksonville fans, we need Houston fans. Anybody you out there, you like your team, write in, let us know you want to come on the show. Like I said, you can even do it via Skype, so you don't have to leave your house.
Absolutely.
Just let us know, we'll get you on, because that's Sports Box, the only opinion that matters. Is right here. Right here. Brian, anything else?
No, hey, just keep an eye out for really cool stuff. I think it's going to be a really exciting time getting ready for another NFL season.
That's right.
It's almost August, kids.
And we'll have it for you. Keep an eye out. See you.
Don't forget to subscribe.